谢谢大家各位同学来参加今年70年底Q4的 Enovia 的一个培训或者一个知识活动啊。那早上呢，这个股票组跟今天晚上
Recording in progress.
大家来，那欢迎Terry总啊。然后呢，时间到了这个时候呢，第一个就是我们的议程今天都写出来了，我们一共是相当于是2天半，今天、明天还有那个后天半天。然后呢，签到表在那个聚成台那边。然后呢，第三个事情呢，总部配了一些小礼物，是一个这样的包，还有一支笔。这个笔有3个用途哈，给大家 demo 一下，对吧？这个是可以划 Pad 呀、iPhone 等等，对吧？然后呢，第二个标准功能是可以写字，还有一个就是夜深人静的时候、加班的时候，对吧？这个写字就是比较好一点的啊，所以是这样一个3个用法，对吧？用完了之后，把这些笔呀放在这个包里，对吧？记得大家可以多做一点 Enovia 的生意啊。然后呢，这是一个开场。然后呢，第二个来讲呢，那出于整个 cost 的原因，所以中午的午餐大家自理啊。那这一次呢，从总部来讲和 Terry 这边整个品牌来讲都没有这个预算啊，相互理解一下。So, I would like to introduce yourself, or you can do it by yourself. No, you can do it by yourself, okay? We're an internal team. You're okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
If I make any mistakes, it's because I'm super jet lagged coming from Boston, okay? My name is Kirsten K. Everyone calls me KK, easy. So if you talk to me or send me email, you can say KK. My role is to be responsible for all Enovia Global sales enablement and education. My team makes all of the sales content, all of the certification content, things like that. And we come to you in the geos to bring you sales enablement. In this workshop for 2 days, we are going to talk about the 3D Experience platform and Enovia. We're going to talk about a platform-first mindset for selling, but understanding the local geography in China and the typical sales situation. We are going to have a discussion, and Matthew will help me do some translation. We'll do sales activity. So it's not just us presenting information to you. It's thinking about your selling context, hearing information about the 3D Experience platform and Enovia, and putting together the sales what you do with the topic of Enovia and our products. We will do some practice. So it feels like a skill transfer, not just information. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Your turn.
Your turn.
Yeah, I think a lot of people know you.
You're infamous. Allowed.
Good morning, I'm Bill Ruscio. I work in the Enovia brand team along with KK. My team and myself, I'll say experts on the Enovia portfolio. So we understand well how people use Enovia and how customers apply those solutions to solve their problems. So I have a few sessions today to support KK's agenda. Okay, one today and one tomorrow. And on Thursday, I've got a dedicated session for semiconductor. I've got 3 experts on my team that focus just on semiconductor. So I'm here today to support the agenda for KK. If you have questions about Enovia, about our solutions, about how the solutions might be maturing or developing, I may be able to answer some of those questions for you, okay? It's nice to meet all of you again.
Thank you, Bill. Now, let me introduce some K leaders from China team, okay? Certainly, we got our cross-brand leader, Terry Zhou. Yes, say hello to those. And also we got some industry leader. From this side we got Weilong, China TNMC, TNM industry leader, one of the leader. You know, China TNM is split for kids, right? Yeah, that's one leader. And we got China new CPE leader, Luo Ye. You know, everybody knows that stuff from 2 years ago. So China make big organization, then we got a new CPE. The third one, David Su is our China industry equipment sales leader. You know, he have a lot of questions about Taiwan. You know that, we all know that, right? And the most interesting guy, Shen Yongran, is China infra leader. He leads the infra team. Okay, you know, I can remember that about 10 years ago, I spent a lot of time with infra, but it doesn't output for me, so I say goodbye. But today, I invite Mr. Shen, the leader, to go back. Maybe we can make some more new effort, do something different to build up more pipeline, at least then we can get some revenue. You know, at least we all know that China is a big infra project, everything for real big for building something like that. So that's also, you know, my teammate for Cartier brand is Xie Fang, our core brand Cartier leader. And Tang Zhuai, our simulated leader. Okay, we are all report to Carrie Zhou in China so far. Also, we should have somebody from our partner. 谁是我们代理商来的？你举一下手。1, 2. Oh my God! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have some partner sales. Our key partner, key Enovia partner. So that is our dedicated guy in this role. Thank you. So, 我们快速的过一下今天整个流程安排吧。那开场我跟 Terry 跟 DK 我们都已经做完了。然后呢，从 Enovia Worldwide 来讲呢，我会 share 和分享一下 Enovia 的一些平时 detail 一些业务的举措，尤其是为2025做一些准备啊。那其实这个动作呢，已经1个半月之前跟我们 local 的 operation team 是已经在做了。然后第二个来讲呢，就是往下排呢，就是 KK 这边呢会去 share 一下我们在 Enovia 从 solution 或者平台角度来讲，我们做一些这种 high level 的高层的这种宣讲的时候，会有一些新的 idea、新的材料或者一些新的这个 reference。当然，其实全球和中国来讲，我们都面临很多共同的挑战啊。当然，每个区域也各有各的一些这种特点，就是做。然后关于平台的，其实11点半到12点咨询我们这个就是我们经常讲传统的那个PDM。当然，如果谈卡贴 V6 呢，当然我们讲的是全面的计算机；如果卡贴 V5 或者其他的 CD 工具呢，一般就是我们的 Power 就是我们的 ZD 啊、BOM 啊这种协同的一块啊。下午呢，就是我们从传统 PRM 到3D 平台的这种升级。这个故事呢，从我回来之前，从15年，其实14、15年开始一直在讲这个事情啊。这些年，在中国区的成长其实是蛮好的，我们有汽车主机厂基本上都在往3D 平台上切了，不管他以前用的是什么平台啊，这是一个蛮好的事情。中午有一个午休，强调一点啊，午饭大家自理啊，然后再回来，对吧？然后呢，下午呢，Stephanie 是一个 nice lady， 她真的是懂技术的，以前是 Smart Team， 她的开发能力很强，在Enovia也很多年了，我们认识也很久了，所以呢，包括今天下午我们跟她这边还会有一个关于 Power BI 的 side meeting， 因为确实 Power BI 已经出来5年6年了，但是以前呢有很大的改进空间，据说2024好了很多，但是可能还需要有很多事情那个去改进。那后面 follow 呢，就是像我们立丰这边也是我们那个就品牌的，那因为 NetWebs 和 Enovia 有些产品线已经合在一起了，我只是说从总部来讲，所以呢会有一个叫做 NetWebs 和 Enovia 的一个 combine 的一个技术 topic。那最后一个呢就是质量管理。那其实在中国来讲 ，quality 啊 sourcing 在中国来讲，我们的产品平台相对来讲其实 就是说实话不是很符合中国企业所说的这个特色，但是呢，作为一些启发和 idea 来讲，我们先看一看总部在这块的实力。他们从全球一些传统大厂来讲，我们在加强其实 sustainability 啊，这个 sourcing 啊等等这样一些是领域啊。所以今天基本上这样一个情况，我们争取中会快一点。我们因为会堵车的原因，所以我们争取可以放在比方说5点能够把这个会议今天的程序都完成。OK， 明天的会议基本上差不多哈。那明天上午我们看情况，如果还是这么堵的话，我们可能还是放在10点。我们计划是9点半，但是呢，争取大家我们会 flexible 到10点开始，因为还是涉及到这个交通的情况啊。然后呢，云端和 SaaS 是一个非常古老的话题啊，在全世界这个 IT 圈子里面就都在做。我们看一看总部的一些 idea 和一些做法和一些实践，那对中国是不是合适？我们能不能用？我们自己思考。只能说从过往的Enovia来讲，其实云端从大所体系来讲，在中国的是 cloud 上呢，一直在尝试着去努力推进啊，但是因为各种原因 ，culture 原因也好，或者说国家安全也好，那我们还是有很多的 limitation。比方说我们在中国的云的技术平台上，我们很早就跟华为就合作了嘛，然后后面跟亚马逊正式签了没有？我好像也不确定啊，但是往前试试看。然后 sustainability 呢这一块呢，就是我前面讲的这一块来讲呢，其实它的一个大的背景是全球在过往的3-5年当中在推那个 ESG， 所以呢，我们达所或者说从Enovia产品线来讲呢，也在加强这方面的一些实方案设置。线上听不清，我们那个拾音器是在哪儿啊？是在这儿吗？
有些这个 PPT， 但是没有。
没有 PPT 啊，现在是。李月是一个中国人，只是他 base 在日本，那他有没有入籍这个我是不知道啊，所以他对 Enovia 体系很熟啊，也是个技术专家。然后明天中午午饭之后呢，那我们要回来分享一下，其实可能跟沈总就比较相关了。我们产品线 Enovia 做中国做那个就10天挺不容易的，你那个行业的潜力很大的，所以我们2个老大难再继续配合一下，争取碰撞出一些新的火花出来啊。那汽车行业不用愁我了，我仰仗汽车行业为Enovia是更多的数。那老四这边呢，其实老四进入那个直达所之后 ，IE 上对Enovia的贡献其实增长率是很好的。汽车行业是中流砥柱，Infra 呢是属于投入很多，这个收获寥寥。说实话，挑战都很大。罗总代表的这个 UCP 团队呢，最近离Enovia 好像有点远啊，希望能回归一下，对吧？那以前呢还能够蹭点卡西欧利股的 VPM， 但是随着趋势的发展，那些数也基本都没了啊。那希望我们跟谢方这边多互动一下，我们3D 想一起打出去，包括跟汤那边从平台啊和 Model C 是一起。下午呢 ，KK 这边呢就是到 Teams Activity， 它相当于是一个叫做流行的话叫做 cosplay， 到时候会举分组，然后大家会去模拟一些场景啊，基本上这么一个大的情况。然后明天下午呢，我们相对适当的做完这个cosplay 之后呢，就做一个 wrap up， 然后放松一点。So just a quick opening, not so quick, not spend about 15 minutes. 所以呢，下面呢回到我的第一个正题哈。Semiconductor 我相信可能并不是所有人都需要参加的，就是后天那一场，因为Semiconductor 他们来之前还要 check 我们一些事情，有没有客户，那 partner 是不是在一些短视名单里面。总之，这个半导体行业涉及到这个国家安全和政治之间，对各自都会有一些约束。 那 Semiconductor 主要是 build team 在完全 lead 这个怎么说呢？且走且看，且走且看。Okay. So thank you. Okay. 然后需要那个切。
好，那个非常感谢啊，非常感谢那个各位到场啊 ，Thank you PK，Thank you，也先谢谢那个春光的开场啊，今天其实非常难得啊，我们今天做这个，请邀请很多的行业的 leader， 还有行业团队啊，包括还有核心 partner 参加这个活动。Enovia 是3D 的核心啊，这个是一个非常重要的一个平台。我们讲传统的 PDM 也好，因为在我的这个从业生涯中啊，我印象中啊，我们有一个客户有一张订单超过1万个 license 啊，这是当然不是 Enovia 啊，是别的，这是我有史以来见过的最大的一个，一张 PO 1万个 license 啊。那么第二大的啊是 Enovia， 一张 PO 5000个 license 啊，所以呢有这样的大规模的使用以后呢，后面会长出很多应用啊，所以呢这个是我们非常重要的一个平台。我希望这个各个行业都能够开花结果，有很大的这样的订单。因为 Enovia 是我们大家都知道，达索是一家3D experience 公司啊。如果你能把 Enovia 卖到很多的客户这个核心的一些 backbone 系统里面，那么它将会长出非常非常多的各个地方全部有很多好的这个结果。所以我非常感谢大家花时间啊，今天的这个培训啊。说是 sales 培训，但是实际上我们所有的这个培训的 leader 都是有 technical 背景，所以他们本身也是技术专家啊，包括这个春光啊，也是做技术出身的啊，可能我是 sales 出身啊，所以我希望大家今天能够，不管是 sales 的问题还是技术的问题，都能够踊跃的这个交流，然后积极参加，包括他们安排的这个活动非常的充分啊，有很多更新啊，我一直被那个 Steven Deckley 每次跟我开会的时候跟我谈到啊，我们传统的 PDM 是什么？10年前的 PDM 是什么？啊，现在的 Enovia 是什么？未来的这个3D 是什么？啊，所以我觉得我们很有必要来刷新一下、更新一下我们的知识啊，同时也看一下 What's New 和 Global 啊正在做什么，世界上正在发生一些什么新的样的东西啊，好吧？好，谢谢大家。
谢谢 Terry。三位有地方坐，没地方往前面走。我们正常开始。那下面我就先分享一下总部从 Enovia 全球的视角来讲，在帮我们做的一些主力性的工作。因为这个品牌来讲呢，定位也在发生一些转变和尝试哈。那无外乎一个综合的是目的，作为一家3D 公司。Enovia 产品线作为一个相对来讲3D 的一个foundation来讲，我还是想能够提供更多的技术支持、案例的一个支持，当然也包括这个 SBO 的一些schedule support 哈，因为曾经在19年，我那时候做长安，那跟总部 professor 交流了124轮 SBO 才批的，那应该是达索中国史上可能最 struggle 的一个 SBO， 是我跟罗总一起啊，那时候一起做长安啊，所以呢，基本上这是总部产品线的一个基本的定位哈。那在每个区域呢 ，brand sales 怎么去定位呢？那中国区 Terry 这边在立的整个团队重新思考，当然也包括那个其他品牌。那总部也有总部的一些视角啊，那这个可能最近会有一些那个分享。那回过来。Enovia 几个大的领域啊，就是我们知道，第一个是传统的 PDM， 其实 Terry 就是刚才有讲，那传统的 PDM 是什么？那以我的理解来讲，传统的 PDM 叫做 CD 的集成、包膜管理、配置管理，差不多了，其他的都是一些图文档、加流手。那对 3D 和 Enovia 有哪些不一样啊？我们应该很多年前达索总部就在宣传一个叫做数据驱动 或叫做模型驱动。那这个数据也好，是模型也好，跟以前的传统的 PDM 有什么样的差异？其实我们这里可以稍微去分享一下。以前呢，我们叫做基于文件机制，我们做卡贴、做 UG、做可路由集成的时候，是把这些3维的物理文件，当时还是一个一个的文件，给它一些编号，它叫零部件号或者零部件的名称，把它剪入到所谓的那个 PDF 系统里面去。这样做呢可行。那今天3D 或者 Enovia 的做法，我们称之为叫做 Model Base 基因模型，或者叫做数据驱动。它的一个很大的变化叫做融合。那应该比卡贴 V6 都很熟，对吧？其实卡贴相当于是说卡贴 V6 和 Enovia 是 PDM， 或者今天我们叫做3D 平台，它们两个不再去区分，这是数模，这是我们传统上讲的那个物料和 BOM， 它两个二者是一体的。这个是一个基础很大的一个变革。那回过来呢，从 Enovia 的角度来讲呢，我们定义了一些这种业务举措吧。那从产品协同开发管理，从这个当然对外，至于说是叫 Y 的还是叫 Up， 这个我们 follow 公司的策略，因为这个公司大的这种reorg 呢，可能最近每年都在有一些这种调整。那这些产品的形态，那我们按照产品的逻辑去做一些试演变。那有几个比较重要的是，就比方说对汽车行业，那我们可能要考虑明年从汽车行业来讲，那主机厂和零部件的这种 supplier， 我们是不是可以定一些 package？ 这个呢，在北美和欧洲做的相对来讲挺好的。像比如说大家应该都清楚，今年我们打索整个全球来讲，跟那个捷豹路虎 total 有500个 million 的总的一个框架。那这500个 million 哪来的？那肯定并不是捷豹路虎自己全买的，对吧？它是整个为它的自己还有它的一些核心的 partner 定义很多的包括。那在中国，我们有像东区汽车厂队，对吧？我们有小米，有蔚来，像7-3那边有一汽、长安和东风，也可以考虑做类似的事情啊。所以呢，就是像那个 OEM 到整个的那个就是 supplier 一个就是 network 就可以去做。回过来讲呢，3D 平台 Enovia 虽然单卖 Enovia 和 PDM 挑战很大，但是呢，我们现在呢，从过往的经验来讲，是来讲，就是把卡贴 V5 或者 V6跟 Enovia 放在一起，基本上从过往的经验来讲，我们在技术上应该在中国来讲，应该确实是无敌的啊。最后商务上当然可能因为就各种原因竞争很激烈，或者价格实在差很多，我们可能有订单，有这个丢单，但是在技术上和 POC 上，这个我尤其记得以前还是 VS 或者 CP 的时候，跟那个就罗总里面跟东区和南区配合很多，基本上在技术端的整个所有的 demo 上 POC 当中，打死就没输过，这是一个比较好的事情。所以呢，叫做平台优先战略。这是从3D 元年2012年开始到今年也正好12年啊。那12年呢，也是我个人加入达索的12年啊，这个挺不容易的。所以我有时候开玩笑的讲，这3D 是伴我而生的。这大的逻辑呢，我们也不需要特别细看。总之呢，Enovia 提供的资料案例，还有一个就是我们官方的 offer 那个文件里面，其实这些所有的文档里面都有啊，包括今天讲的所有的文档，还有那个素材。当然后面我们也会去分发。所以呢，官方有很多的素材，如果有新加入达索体系内2年或者3年的，可能并不是很熟悉。那会后呢，也可以找我的团队成员陈谈这边找一些技术支持也好 ，SBO 也好，或者一些素材也好，这都可以。那重点我们看一下，这个是总部2024年的一些思考和准备在2025年推出的一些业务举措。然后他让我挑，那总部的意思从销售来讲，你最好中国区这么大，你都挑。我说我没功夫啊，所以我只能挑几个 看着顺眼，当然看着顺眼是个玩笑啊，还是要看一些有那个对我们的收益真的可能有增长价值。这里面尤其请我们 CFO 看一下，我给大家去解释一下这几个举措想干嘛，能干嘛，我们可能怎么做，真的会帮助我们产生一些开发案。第一个呢就是 quality 是一个质量话题啊。我们知道，其实今天为止，从整个工业软件体系当中，没有一家完整的质量管理体系的。ERP 有 ERP 的视角，我们 CAD 或者 PDM 有 PDM 的视角 ，CRM 是也有。所以呢 ，Enovia 在从 quality 来讲，其实增强了很多很亮点的功能啊。但这里面对我们来讲有个挑战啊。从达索的体系或者从 Enovia 或者总的来讲，我们很多新亮点的功能呢，都是放在云端为主啊。这对我们来讲是一个挑战。有些功能确实挺好的，但是很可惜它只是在云端。那可能在中国这种情况就不一定是合适啊，所以这个就要去看，这个要时时刻刻去关注我们 offer 里面它提供的解决方案，哪些是只在云上，哪些已经可以搬到这个 on-premise 了。那质量话题是一个非常宽泛的话题。Enovia 在同行当中跟西门官人比和跟我前司那个 PTT 比，这里我们做的功能上来讲还是挺好的，上家几乎就不太有。西门加小产品线有，但是融合性弱，哇，这是第一个。第二个来讲呢，可持续性这块儿，这个叫做就标里这个政治正确啊，这个 ESG 全球都在讲这个话题，我们去跟跟看。ESG 更多的是碳足迹的追踪，做一个产品，那我能不能把它过程当中碳的这种数据过程全部都做好，类似于就偏环保。ESG 那个领域，然后下一个呢 ，sourcing 就是我讲的。那其实我们国内的这主机厂，比方说像 Neo 也好，小米也好，他们是有自己的方式，包括长安，包括主机厂，其实都有自己的那种 sourcing 的一个 program 等等。那我们是不是可以做得更好？所以我们可以看看总部的这些举措，能够帮我们多社区中产生一些那个。pipeline， 尤其对我们，尤其从威龙也好，这个流霞也好，对吧？其实仪器呀，这个未来消费或者说一些传统的这个零部件，想想还要卖啥？觉得卖的差不多啊，说数量也差不多够了，核心的模块种类也全，那这些像这个叫做 quality 啊、可持续性啊，还有这个 sourcing 啊，我们就可以试试了。这个尤其在传统制造业当中啊，汽车大型的零部件企业来讲，都有一个新的突破口去 try 一下啊，因为基本上传统来讲，核心的 core 卡企业基本上完全了，是 PDM 呢，核心的 foundation、BOM、CAD 集成基本上也就差不多了。后来12、8，然后再往下一个。Business process management 这个其实我们一直在做啊，那就是尝试着做一个什么事儿呢？就是把 Enovia 或者3D 平台当成自己的日常的一个通用的管理平台去做，这是一个好的 idea。我们不一定非叫它一个 PDM， 对不对？反正沉淀下来 ，foundation 就是管文档、社教审、把流程，你说它叫 OA。叫 ERP、叫 CRM、叫 PDM 都行，所以这也是一个维度，也就是说这个会帮我们拓展一些思路，把3D 或者是 PDM 当成一个 general 的 tool 去试。可能有的小客户说，哎，我暂时我也不太想批好几个大工具，如果你 Enovia 基本的图文档、流程、归档都有，当做简单的 OA 啊、EPU 驱动也可以啊。我觉得这是一个好主意啊，所以这个维度我们在现在或者我们 sales 还有这个售前都可以去思考和去尝试一下啊。这个实际上也符合实际，也就像咱们打所内部员工都很清楚，我们自己的 operation dashboard 对吧，都是用我们3D 自己嘛，所以我们一直在讲，那全球最大的3D 用户是谁？是我们打所自己，我们自己全球2万多员工全部一直就在用，他用的其实就是一个BPM 的一个方式。你说我们内部那个叫 CRM 也不很像，对吧？叫图文档都有。然后往下一个 Life Science 和 Medical 呢，这是一个我们今天就提到啊，这块来讲，其实我们以前都尝试过，我们在这个领域当中功能非常的好，但我们非常缺 know-how， 我们非常缺 know-how 啊，这点来讲 ，P 家做的它的 know-how 和产品都挺不错的啊。但是医疗器械行业因为还会涉及到另外一个话题，涉及到像我去年做那个就瑞金，它还涉及到国家数据安全，就他们那些医生啊、博士啊，想去北美也是比较有风险的，可能被拒掉，或者去了回不来。所以这个我们看看就好。卡提耶 Cloud， 我觉得这个事情呢，对中国可能不太 work 啊。我觉得有些外企在中国科技可能会尝试一下，但对中国大部分 local 的企业来讲，无论是汽车、high-tech、IE， 除非他自己的私有云部署，他也叫云，但是你让他把数据放在亚马逊的云上、华为的水平上，这么多年我听到的几乎没有啊。然后右上角就是 supply chain， 就是这个东西呢，这个呢我们可以学北美，就是像和欧洲、中国同汽车主机厂或者同苏总这边的大的工业装备的整机厂到使命部件，我们定一些快速的 package 折扣提前定义好，当然之后比较敏感啊。基本上我知道过往2年 Enovia 试着在中国定义了一些 Enovia 的包，但是呢那个包的价格呢，好的 partner 问啊，还不如我再重新申请了，你这个太高了。Cloud Service 一样，凡是涉及到就 Cloud 在中国的，我们就先听一听、看一看，所以我没有作为重点报给这总部啊，我中国区，我说目前我看一看就好了。Data One Back 啊，这个故事我跟罗总比较熟，我们两个从12年开始，就是因为那个时候在中国 PDM 市场基本上是西门子跟 PDD 21天购打索，他俩一加45%。打索那个时候占10%以内吧，我们去到的所有的客户基本上都曾经跟我提及到 Intel， 所以那个时候就讲那个 B-Jump Back。那从最近几年的场景来讲呢，从汽车行业我们知道，像威龙带的团队也把 Enovia 引进了一汽，那像东区汽车团队小米和蔚来，对吧？就是新能源。南区 Terry 总当年。对吧？辛辛苦苦打下了广汽，包括整个技术团队，其实在东风啊，所以呢，在 Asia One Back 来讲，中国区系列从 performance 来讲，应该是走在全国的前面的，我觉得非常的好。还有一个可以提的哈，就是 Legacy Transformation Acceleration， 这玩意儿说起来很简单，就是你没交 ALC 的，想办法把它给弄回来。我理解是这样 ，legacy， 大家如果我印象里 ，Enovia 大概是从15、16年和17年开始，不交 ALC 的话，那这个订单是死活起不来的。我中间离开过 Enovia 2年哈，我不知道这2年的情况是不是还这样啊？一样是吧？就是。以前在15、16年之前呢，卡企业是有很多弹性的，也会收你的指挥费，但是有很多故事可以讲。Enovia 大概从15、16年开始就是强制的3D 的 ALC 没有的话，订单我不要，你看着办。所以这个对咱们 sales role 来讲和 partner 来讲，这都是一个压力哈。但这个压力其实有时候也好嘛，就跟客户就是看怎么讲嘛，那公司要求的嘛。对吧？客户，你好歹你找点钱，先把我的维保费先交了嘛。所以这个事儿呢，就是不管我们认不认可、接不接受，那公司定了这么个政策，这个政策其实就不分行业了，对吧？你 legacy 的想办法去激活嘛。这个总部在1个月前给我拉了一张清单出来。当然从 Enovia 来讲，那中国区有哪些 Enovia？ 当然。是新版本呢，就是指3D 版本，你可能3年、5年、6年没有交指挥保费了，那这些会不会帮我们产生一些新卡单？理论上应该会的哈，因为从我对打索和客户的理解来讲，能跟着打索走的客户，心理上已经放弃了价格上的绝对抵抗，说我既然选了你，我知道你的价格， 确实偏贵一些，所以呢，这个我觉得是一个尝试的点。半导体行业呢，就前面有提哈，像 Bill 来这儿讲这个半导体东西，他好像要在北美的 NATO 里面某些地方去填一些备案，因为他到插人来，还要讲一些知识，所以这个事情就很敏感，所以我也没把它放到一个明年 Enovia 的重点去来。这里面其实因为半导体行业说白了，你说它是 IE 和 High-Tech 新能汽车都跟这个领域相关啊，都跟这个领域就相关，有生意该做就做。也别管什么举措，能做就做，能签就签，签完赶快收钱，赶快就下单。我们不知道这里边全球会发生一些什么样的政治的变局，比方说明天北美到底谁会是总统？昨天我问 PP 和那个 Bill who will be your next president? Maybe tomorrow we will got to resign. But I don't care. I care Enovia revenue in China. So, right? 所以基本上就是这几个。当然。这几些举措当中，从我们机构来讲呢 ，operation 层面会基于这些规则会抓出一些 pipeline 出来。那这些 pipeline 出来，那大家可能就要做适当的认领和跟进。没有机会就没机会，没关系，跟公司去讲哈，说这几个我试了，没机会就是说清楚，你就关掉，有机会就去试试看，好吧？所以呢，这就是一个 initiative 的一个整体的。overview 一共是10个，我挑了5、6个，会写在我们 local 的 MCE 里面去。然后所有的素材我们 offer 上都有，就是官网的 offer 上就都有。当然还有一点就是，如果有一些加入达所2、3年提起的，像我们内部的3D 平台里面去搜索那个关键字，有的话继续去找定，就那个人去问；没有的话，可能真就没有啊，找一些案例啊等等的一些那个情况。好吧，那我的第一个 topic 分享到这里，那谢谢大家。那下面有什么问题的话，问我或者问陈凡都 OK 哈。没问题，我们继续了。有没有问题 ？So far so good. Thank you. Is there?
To start, I would love to ask some questions that I ask you to answer just by raising your hand. How many people have been working for Dassault Systems for more than 10 years?
10 years.
More than 10 years. Okay, great.
过来多少年了？
还没到呢。
What's that?
This guy in red t-shirt
Yes.
is very close to 10 years.
Okay, you're included. How many people? 5 years? Maybe 5 years to 2 to 5 years. More than 2 years? More than 2 years? How many people are year 1, less than year 1, new hire, up to 2 years? Some new hire up to 2 years. Okay. The reason I asked the question is because over time in the geos, I have seen that more people are coming to work in sales from industries that are not PLM industries, not manufacturing industries. How many people have, thank you so much, how many people have an engineering or PLM background?
谁有技术背景、工程背景或者 PLM 的
Not so many.
？Why? What
Why?
happened?
This is a change that has happened in every geo across Dassault systems. It used to be, years ago, almost everyone in sales had a PLM or manufacturing background. So when I think about the sales education that needs to happen, I think it needs to start with a really rich understanding of PLM and manufacturing companies. What do these businesses care about? If we understand product development and we understand what a business person whose company makes products, what they care about, we can be better at selling software to them. Do you agree?
Yep.
Okay, so we have built an entire swim community. It's like your workbook. Everyone has been given access. If you all try to go there right now, it will be very slow. But when we go on break, please check that you are able to access. I will put the link in the Zoom chat. And when we go on break or when we go on lunch, please check your access. If you cannot access this, we will add you directly. Why? I know I'm speaking English. I know it's not your mother tongue as mine. You have every single thing here as a full referential for everything we will discuss. And there's even
给
more.
Colombia 就是放在
So it's all here
楼上有信
in
封，
this
哎，
swim
去
community.
台南给那
First,
个
I'm going
秘书叫什
to
么？
已经有，
他们有一个秘书。
不是啊，我说信封是已经有给台南的东西了哈。
哦，不是、啊，那个信，他们那个后面那个不是有抽屉
Can you
的，有
see
一个
the
是台
screen?
南
It's
的，
big enough?
哎，就是放给台南，然后转交秘书，上面写秘书，我再跟秘书讲。
Okay. Going to market with 3D Experience Enovia. As sales, we need to be able to discuss 3 things at the same time with our customers. Business, general business. How do you make money? How do you create value by making more revenue or saving money in your operations? Your industry. In which industry, vertical, or segment is this customer? What are the pressures of that industry? The pressure on their business. And then brand, inside Dassault system, we sell a very large portfolio of products. These products are made by the brands. So someone's here, the person for Samulia, and we have Delmia, and we have Katia or SolidWorks. Those portfolios of products, we as salespeople have to understand how to talk to a person in business, how to talk to them about their industry, and how to talk to them about products that can solve their problems or create opportunity for them to grow or make more money. It's a big job for a salesperson to have 3 kinds of knowledge and using this knowledge together. Today and tomorrow, we are going to talk about a mix of business, a bit of industry, and a bit of brand, and I'm selfish. I care about the 3D experience platform and Enovia. And before you leave here, you will agree with me that without the 3D experience platform and Enovia, the vision of Dassault Systems is impossible. Okay? If you have any questions, you want me to slow down, speak more clearly, just say so. How am I doing, Matthew?
Very good.
So just a little about Enovia. Every brand in Dassault Systems has something that we call a brand promise. And the brand promise is the vision or mission of the brand. Very slow. Perhaps I just leave it on. Visualization is very slow. Enovia is plan your definition of success. I can tell you a secret. I really hate our brand promise. The reason I don't like our brand promise is because I think it's confusing.
Always.
Always. When we see the word plan, people immediately think, oh, project management, planning. In fact, we need so much more. If you're a company that makes products, you have an entire business strategy related to your products. You know the kinds of products you want to make. You know the regulations that you have to comply with. You know what the customers are demanding. You know how quickly you want to make changes or improvements for the next version of your product. You want to make new products. All of those details, that is your business plan. Your business plan is what you're going to do to make money as a business. The 3D Experience Platform and Enovia helps you execute all of your plans, not just project plans. It helps you define and execute your whole strategy for making products. The definition, the specific details, and of success is to meet goals. For those of you who know PLM, do you know the term governance? Governance. Governance is supposed to be proactive. Most companies, they check that they will be compliant with rules after. They check that their products will meet specifications after. If you are running a business and you check for problems after the work is done, is that a good way to work? No. So with the 3D Experience Platform and Enovia, we help you do the work the right way in the beginning to prevent the issues or problems, but also all of the data is together and connected, so you can always run a report to see and trace the digital continuity, the data thread. That's really why Enovia exists. Do you like music? Music. Do you ever go to sing symphony? What do you call the person who stands and Conductor, how do you say in Chinese? The one person who takes the entire symphony and makes the music. Okay, yes. You know the part of the symphony that plays drums? What is their purpose? Percussion. Rhythm. Rhythm. Does business have rhythm? It should. Enovia is both rhythm and leader. But we're not visible the way CAD tools, design tools, or simulation tools. We're not as visible to people because we're in the background making the music happen. So in the next day and two, today and tomorrow, we are going to talk about what is the work that is done by Enovia so that you understand why a business would care to have the 3D experience platform in Enovia. Okay? Very good. Excellent. In this wiki, I am not going to read you everything because you have access. You can see there is information about the evolution of the Enovia brand. We started as just product data management into product lifecycle management. Then we moved into being able to connect engineering and business users. And in the future, we're really thinking about the economies affected. So you can see engineers to business users to every user in a business. We also have a product portfolio. This is boring for sales, but it can be interesting to understand the purpose of Enovia. As I said to you, one of our purposes is to be planners. Sustainable strategy. Here in China, maybe the goals for sustainability are different than in other regions of the world. Maybe your government has some rules. But if you're a Chinese company who sells your products in Europe or in the Americas, where the rules are stronger, do you have the ability to make a plan for how your products will meet the sustainability regulations of other geographies, especially as OEM suppliers, right? Do you have a plan for your portfolio of products? Can you define the product, many versions or configurations of the product, entire portfolios? Do you have the ability to manage project and programs? Do you have the ability to manage quality programs, quality assurance, etc.? Legal and regulatory compliance, IP laws, export control laws. All of these things Enovia has apps for. Virtual product development. This is the most mature area of the portfolio. And you may wonder, why is it called virtual product development? Because of technology, we no longer make physical products as prototypes, right? We can make a virtual prototype. In fact, with our software, we can do everything virtually. It's faster. It involves more people in the process with more ideas, and it is more sustainable. Instead of making 100 cars to break them, you make 3 cars in the end to prove to your regulatory group that it's okay. Everything related to making the products and managing the engineering data is here in virtual product development. value network. Dassault Systems imagined a world where your business could connect its systems to your value network, your suppliers, for sourcing. Instead of designing a car and just making places for the parts or components that you will get from vendors, there's now a way to share the information if both of you are on the 3D Experience platform, or you can connect the information from your supplier. You can then start to make a plan for procurement. During COVID, for example, we saw major disruptions in the supply chains. Some companies were completely stopped because their primary vendors did not have goods available. If you have a robust sourcing plan, you have your preferred vendor, your tier 1, your tier 2, and when one vendor is no longer available, you can switch quickly and easily, bringing the data into your CAD designing and making sure you can produce your products still on time, still with regulatory compliance, and still at the right price. Lastly, collaboration and intelligence. Together in one environment on the 3D Experience platform. The 3D Experience platform, I think, is difficult to understand. Do you agree? Yeah? When you log into your computer, are you running Linux? Are you running Windows? Windows. Windows is the operating system.
Yes.
What is an operating system?
Foundation to run the apps.
It's a foundation to run your apps. What about your mobile phone? Does it have an operating system? Yes. And can you go to an app store and put apps on your phone? The 3D Experience platform is an operating system.
For what?
For all of your apps. Maybe your Enovia apps, maybe your CATIA apps, maybe your Delia apps, maybe your Simulia apps. But it's more because when everyone is together on one platform, you can share. On your telephone, you're able to take a photo, tag a person, send it, and in seconds, they receive it. Maybe it has a geolocation. There's so much information, there's so much metadata. The 3D Experience platform lets people everywhere around the world work together. One of my missions as an enablement director for Enovia is to help sales appreciate the richness of the platform. We don't use the platform, so we have no idea. It just seems like a single sign-on. If anyone is curious, I will show you how my team and I work 90% of our day on the platform together. It's not the moment. So I just want you to see why we build our apps. What is the purpose or intention behind our apps? And if you are curious, you can come and look and see more detail is here. There's also another view of our domains and disciplines where you can see our competitive landscape. You can see who our competitors are in each category of our domains. But I'm going to say something that is very aggressive. You can sell CATIA or SolidWorks standalone. It's very competitive. You can sell Delmia, Hortons, Aprizo, standalone. It's very competitive. You can sell Simulia, standalone, very competitive. You cannot sell Enovia standalone. It's not competitive. Why? If Enovia is not connected to the data, if Enovia is not together with the things on the platform, we have nothing to keep the beat. We are the orchestrator of the work. We know the requirements for the work, and we make sure the requirements are used in CAD or used in simulation. If we're not integrated with the other things, it's boring. If you try to sell Enovia project management against Primavera, it's boring. Our value proposition is not the best standalone tool. Our value proposition is the connected end-to-end information, and not only using it for work, infinite possibilities for data management, decision-making, making adjustments. You can analyze all of the data related to the work when you have all of the data related to the work together. So we show this to you so that you know who you will come against, but please don't try to sell each one thing separately. Sell it together. All right. So thinking about our executive message relating to the 3D experience platform, there's a whole PowerPoint with a video, and there's a lot of materials that support our messaging. Sorry, I want to visualize. Okay. It starts with this idea of experience economy. It's this. Take that away. Sorry. Oh, yeah, perfect.
Right?
Yes, great, thank you. Do you know the industrial revolutions? Did anyone study business? A bit. I like the story of the industrial revolutions because I think it's an easy way to think about how product making has changed in the last 150 years. 150 years ago, if you had a horse and your horse needed a shoe, who did you see? Did you go to the horseshoe factory? 150 years ago, was there a horseshoe factory?
Okay.
You have a horse.
Yeah.
It has a metal shoe on its foot, but it breaks. How do you get a new shoe? How? How do you buy a new shoe for your horse?
Why good?
Why? As it walks. What if you needed, 150 years ago, you need a jacket?
Yeah.
Do you go to the department store? 150 years ago, how do you get a new jacket? A tailor. Who said this? A tailor. You go see one person with a very specialized set of skills and they measure you and they make you your jacket at whatever price they charge in however much time it takes them. The first industrial revolution 200 years ago, we discovered how to control steam and use steam as an energy resource. And when we could do this with steam, we could start to make machines. So fabric was once loomed by hand. They would take threads and produce cloth. But now we have the ability to have a machine that could make cloth. The tailor would take the cloth and make you a suit. Then we discovered electricity. And we had the ability to use electricity in factories. And we created something called the assembly line. And the assembly line made product making faster because the product would go from one position in the factory to the next position in the factory, and humans were trained at doing this one category of work. The assembly line was born. And the assembly line was a huge change. Businesses who made products could suddenly make products much faster. And this allowed us to make a car, an automobile. Who made the first automobile? Ford, Henry Ford. Now, when you think about the automobile that Henry Ford made, the Model T, not the Tesla. How many colors were available for the Model T? One black. How many configurations or variations were possible? One. But then, 70 years later, computers completely changed work for all people. Instead of doing manual work, the work could be digitized. How many of you remember someone doing bookkeeping with a pencil and a very large pad of paper with columns and rows, and they manually took all the notes? Now you use Excel. So what the computers let us do is manage data faster. But as we push on technology to give us better tools, technology pushes on us to work in different ways. The way you did your work in paper or perhaps on a typewriter changed when you had a word processor. For example, when I was a girl, if I wanted to type a paper for university and I wanted a sentence to be bold, while I was typing, I had to Shift B, turn on bold, type, Shift B, turn off bold. Now with a word processor, I write, and then I go back and I highlight and make it bold. It was a change in the way we work. Go forward 30 years. Computers can talk to each other. They're networked. Computers can share so much information. The possibilities for business are huge because we can now not just digitize work and handle some data. We can handle enormous, huge amounts of data. The changes for products. If you look at the bottom of this picture, When we could create factories, we were able to mass produce products. But when we started using computers, we were able to customize the products. Not just one black car, a blue car, a gray car, a red car. We could handle customizations, and consumer demand started growing for different kinds of products with more features and more details that were specific to their choices. Now, we're in a time of mass personalization. Look at this case. This case has a two-step manufacturing process. Step one, make the case. Customization, blue. Not gray, not black, not white, blue. Step two of the manufacturing process, personalization. Add the logo. The logo that I upload in a digital file with the color choice I want. That's possible because of the advancements in computer technology. But if you think about your customers, how many of your customers are still using legacy systems that have only digitized documents? All they do is what we call file-based computing. How many customers do you have with their engineering data on Excel spreadsheets? Or in a database that is a standalone database and doesn't talk to anything else? Anyone? I know the answer is many. Many. Do you know that in all of Dassault systems, the China Geo has the most customers on legacy systems than any geo across the world? Designer Central, Engineering Central, old versions. They cannot step into the modern engineering. They can't step into this century's product making capabilities easily. They're still working like it's 1970. So there's a moment where we as salespeople for Dassault Systems, we have to honor our customers. We know that the way they work is the way they work, and it works for them. And maybe they're not ready to change. But what if they don't change? Their competitors who are using more modernized networked systems, who are on platforms where all of the data is shared, their competitors who are using more sophisticated software are going to beat them. They're going to do their job faster with fewer errors. They're bringing products to market more quickly. They're able to do mass personalization and handle the tons and tons of data that goes with it. They're able to grow their business and make more money.
If I can give you some comments on this.
Please.
I think your point is correct. One thing in China is different. You know,
Please.
even the data in China did not use the best solution, but they do something physically to digital. So factor. Even our system is not so fancy, but it will make the results so fancy. Yeah, think about time, people, the first thing. The second thing, I think that the extent of our institution from China local, we do have a better internet network of consumers. You know, and this three platform in China, we end up facing in market chat and the three tools. And I would want to know three tools. In that time, we have to they make the revolution.
Right.
Something like this, that. It is, people have.
So they
So,
understood the
your,
need.
your idea is correct, but to be honest, I forgot. Okay, compare with China companies. So it's called, not a challenge, but
No.
share information.
So I'm curious, for your companies in China who are using China,
Yeah,
yes,
cool.
how do they collaborate with people outside of China?
Native speech did, because we are internet for, we have no support. Everybody brings on the same phone. Mostly. And we can exchange ideas, messages, even word by word, sentence by sentence. Today, we are based on the word, but we can see, using, I don't know, term, of generalization, word by word. That means you can do the correlation. For example, so you can see too many values here. So easily, flexible, and then it's hard to get a cover. Yeah. So, controls intelligent regional challenge as a ask. 我们知道，其实在这当中，中国的企微飞书钉钉做的要远远好我们传统或者说这个，这个我们承认。
这个有一点就是，他讲的是工业面多，我们在这个很多应用实用的，OK 的，但是他讲的更多可能是工业的所有因为我们是工业软件公司嘛，所以这个专业。
So Matthew, on collaboration or sharing data, I understand your point. But what if I need to build an airplane or a cruise ship or a building that goes 50 stories high? Can you share all of the engineering data and the architecture and the regulation?
Good on, not really.
Okay.
You know, you asked a very well question.
Bill help me.
Okay. 那个
I understand what you're saying, right? Still in somewhat of a different space, right? We're solving a somewhat different problem. We really want to virtualize, or not eventually, we want to globally be faster, even faster than many. Yes, you can apply many people to the problem, but that's not going to be as fast as virtualized story.
I think you have to think about two packages. One is the application, one is the industry. That's right, manufacturing.
Yes.
This is the different domain.
What Matthew's point is something you need to be aware of. They're coming, right?
Yes, they're coming. Yeah.
I agree. I understand.
Good question.
But you know, I like this conversation because we are a product maker, thinking about how we differentiate ourselves and make sure our product goes faster than the competitors. That's the same conversation our customers have.
Yes, exactly.
It's the same conversation. Everyone has competitors. Everyone's trying to do something special or different faster. So we have to understand our products and our competitive landscape. But the same logic applies to our customers and their competitive landscape. One of the things I think about when I think about putting more people on the work, we hear this from a lot of our customers. I'm a human being. You are a human being. Am I more accurate than a computer? Who's more accurate, me or the computer?
It depends on. If all you are seeing is some calculation or math, sure, computer is better than us. But we are talking about creating emotional.
No, okay, not emotional. Does the computer make mistakes? If it's programmed. Does the human make mistakes?
Yes.
So this is point number one. humans make mistakes. And there's a word in American English, someone help me with the translation. We say that computers idiot-proof the work. Does it make sense?
傻瓜是证明，傻瓜是证明，傻瓜，愚蠢，傻瓜。
Does it translate?
Yes. We can get your point.
Okay. So we have examples, one of our recent examples is a car maker in California that's making driverless cars, Waymo. Mhm. So they had a process where the CAD engineers would do the work, but there were so many issues to be managed. They hired one issue engineer for every 20 CAD designers.
Every 20 can.
Every 20.
So you put one issue.
So
coordinator
20
manager.
CAD equals one issue engineer.
Interesting.
Suppose your issue engineer in the US makes $100,000 a year. Suppose you have 100 CAD engineers. How many issue engineers? 5. $500,000. With Enovia, you eliminate the issue engineer. So sometimes putting more people on a project can make something go faster or can make the difference, but we have to explore with our customers at what cost? At what cost? Another example is the time it takes for information to move from one person to another person. If I'm collecting information on Friday and then making a report on Monday or Tuesday, and I come to Terry on Wednesday with last week's activity report, is that useful? It's 8 days old. When everything is together on a platform, it's dynamic, instantaneous, real time. Business leaders, executives need to make important decisions all the time, and they don't want data that's old. Or worse, if it's their norm to make decisions using old information, how competitive will they be? Identifying new products, identifying personalizations, incorporating user feedback into the product development, etc. These are the questions we have to ask our customers. All right, so let me go further. Generally, we believe that there are 8 industrial challenges that affect our how fast will be. Oh, better. So this is the visualization. The slide that you can download is better. 8 industrial challenges. Sustainability. Again, there may be one issue related to sustainability in China. There may be more issues across the world. Customer demands for products. Being competitive, growing your market share, selling more products that are unique and specialized to the customer. Mass personalization. Have you gone to a website where you can design your own gym shoes? New Balance website, you can pick the fabric, the color. Those websites are possible because software allows for mass personalization and shopping. New business. Have you ever heard of your customer say, I need to diversify? I need to create another line of business, another category of business. Does your software support that? Does your software optimize your quality processes, your digital continuity, all of your regulatory compliances? Can you connect to your supply network? Can you control costs? But in a way that is predictive. This is really the most important point. We talked about manual work. When you can look at your data after something's happened, you are reacting. Companies need to be proactive. Do you know what the concept of mod sim is? Does anyone know what it means, mod sim? Mod sim. What is mod? What does it mean? Model? Model. And sim is simulate. What does it mean when you do both at the same time? Can you model and simulate at the same time? Yes. Why do you do it? Why do I model and simulate at the same time? Anyone from Pitya or Samulia?
Both.
We have both. Pitya and Samulia, where are you? Why do we do mod sim?
I'm glad you can do your comments.
What is the value of mod sim? Say it in Chinese and Matthew can translate.
西方，左边为啥要搞 model？
Single source of truth. Okay, so your data. Okay. Why is it faster? Let's take something easy. When I'm a CAD designer making a model, someone has told me that the requirements for this water bottle is to use a certain amount of plastic to make it this size, to make it this shape, to put a label. But I know that when I ship this water, it will be in very large pallets and they will be on top of each other. Many stacks, so much weight. And I have to prove that the water bottle won't explode. If I model the bottle and then I give the bottle to simulation, simulation will do simulations and say, no, the bottle's not good enough. And then I bring the bottle back to CAD, we make a change, I bring the bottle back to simulation, they run more tests, they say no, I come back to CAD, they make some changes. So slow. Mod sim is when one designer has the modeling and the simulation open at the same time, and they change one characteristic and click a button and the test runs. They see the result, and they keep going and keep going. So by the time modeling is done, the product is good.
So it can achieve based on the performance,
Yes,
not on the model.
correct.
Performance.
It's the performance. In engineering, you can line up the processes linear, or in English we say shift left. Put these processes together. It's faster, it's more efficient. If you want to beat your competitors, it's faster. If you want to save time and money, it's better. It addresses these.
The apps that work together on the 3D Experience platform can solve those problems. You just have to explore the specific problem for your customer in their industry.
All right, I've said a lot. I can tell so much listening in English. I'm going to stop and we take a break.
Break?
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Enough time for a coffee and a cigarette. That's it.
后面这两个没有签名，签名您继续找礼物。
So 10, 10:40. 11:40.
对，就是我最想那边。对，主要是要让他，对啊。不才对，参加的辩论比参加的免费的。
switching to talking about making products. And what I would like to do to start take 3 minutes and use your new pen and make a list of the requirements for designing and manufacturing this. What do you think are the requirements for making this pen? With a cap, with a body, with a soft, with a light? Is it a simple or complicated product? Take 3 minutes and make a small list. You're smart. Terry is very smart. He's very smart. So I could hear that Terry took his pen apart. Why did he break the part into the pieces? He took the pen and opened it. Why would he do that? Components? Okay. So the pen, let's say it's simple. It has parts. How many parts does the pen have? 7? 7 or 8? What color does the pen write? Green? It writes green? Right. The color of the outside. The pen ink equals black. The pen case is gray. Yes, yes. The light requires a battery. What kind? It's tiny, it's a little cell. The reason I asked you to do that is because I wanted to make the point that something that looks so simple is actually a bit complicated. And that's only a pen. What kind of products do our customers make? Cars, phones. Yes? Terry's counting still. So
in this next section, we're going to talk about the job categories, the functions, the kinds of work people do related to making products. I am not going to teach you engineering, and we don't have to talk about with complicated engineering words. But if we want to talk to business people about the business of making products, we have to have an idea of how products are made. So in this section, we are going to look at product development. When we're done, you will be able to fill this picture every blank. How many of you are familiar with the if-we loop? If we loop this thing, do you know this? The Dassault systems, if we loop. Dassault system says on this side you have virtual and on this side you have real. In reality, this is called DevOps. Has anyone studied computer science? Okay. When you make software, DevOps is the methodology for being agile and making your software. Dassault Systems is a group of engineers who make software for product companies. We took the idea of agile DevOps and we put it together with the idea of making products. And we define the stages that first you imagine a product, then you take time to create the models, create the plan for the product, then you produce it or manufacture your product. Customers start to use your product. They might perceive the value and appreciate your product. They become your Instagram promoter, something like that, right? And then they advocate for your product. But during the use, value, and advocate, you can collect data about how they use the product, what they like, features or issues they have, and you feed it back to the product development process. You know, we make software. Do people have bugs with their software?
Yep.
Yes. We have to understand the bug and fix it. Do people make requests for enhancements? Yes. We have to understand that and make a plan for it in our products. Our customers that make products follow this process. So our need is to be able to talk about this process and then how it can be better with good software. Clear?
Pretty clear. Can you that all China company fully following this move?
Yes, great.
But challenging, I'm not talking about the technology. Just like introduction, why you China company doing things like that? That's a lot.
Because you're agile, yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do for the next 30, 40 minutes, we're going to talk about the left side of the loop, the virtual side, and we're going to discuss what has to be done to make products. Good?
Good.
There are product milestones. An idea is a milestone. A conceptual product model is a milestone. A product definition is a milestone. A configured product definition is a milestone. The manufacturing definition is a milestone, and then finally, the manufactured product. To move between the milestones, work has to happen. So the work that happens is imagine the product. Take your idea, start to express your product ideas. Make a list of requirements for your product. Understand in very great detail exactly the product you're trying to make. Physically, what does it have to include? Functionally, what does your product have to do? How will it be used? Logically, if I'm in a car and I take the handle and pull it, the door should open. If I push a button, the window should come down or come up. Oh, maybe I want auto down. I push the button and the window goes all the way down. Things like this. I have to think about all of that. But then I also have to think about the rules for my product. Regulatory compliance is every single rule. Government rules, industry rules, consumer rules that are going to affect my product. And then I also am thinking about the portfolio of products. You know when you make a car, you take one car chassis, but you can imagine many different models of the car that utilize the one chassis. It's the same idea when you think about a whole portfolio of products. What are all the products that go together? And how can I optimize or reuse characteristics of the product to make the development of the products faster and better? When you've captured all of these things, you have a conceptual product model. You have the guidance. It's like if you wanted to build a house. Who is the first person you would hire to help you build a house? Before the foundation. Designer. What do we call the designer? Architect. When I hire the architect, they will interview me. What will the architect ask me? Yeah, what are your requirements? Tell me. Would you like a kitchen? Would you like to cook some food in your house? Yes. Do you want a bathroom? Yes. 1, 2, 4. How many stories? Is your house all one floor or more than one floor? Do you need heat? Do you need air conditioning? Do you need water? Do you need electricity? All of those things get captured. And the same idea is that the architect is going to interview me and ask me my concept, my idea for my house. And then the architect draws a huge plan. What do we call the plan the architect makes? A blueprint? What do you say in Chinese? That's what that is. The product definition is the plan. The blueprint, though, it's not just the ideas, it's drawn. Everything is indicated. This is where electricity will go. This is where walls will go. This is the height of the ceiling.
This is where water will go, everything, everything. So it starts with a product definition. And the product definition is what are we going to build? Another way we might think of it is to be. What is the product to be? You may have heard this. Once we have an idea of what the product is to be, there are many teams that do work. There are teams that will design the product. They're the CAD designers. They are going to do geometric drawings, and they're going to make sure that the physical product and the systems and components are all right. There are people who are going to manage the data, the engineering data. And one of the reasons they have to manage the engineering data is so that they can make configurations. Well, when I make my house, I'm probably only making one house. But if I'm designing a car, that car could be available in many different configurations. Let's look at these 3 pens. Is it the same pen? Is the product definition the same? But the configurations are different. Blue, red, black. So some parts of the product will be identical, but some parts of the product will be different. And what has to happen is that this product definition we will make the blueprint for everything that's the same, but then we will copy it and make it the red version, the blue, the black. You know, I like pens. I like a pen that writes blue ink that has a very, very precise fine point. Matthew, he likes black ink. Bill likes red ink. Someone else, they like a bigger point. Matthew likes a pen with a cap. I like a pen that I can clip. All of these things are configurations. The base product is the same, but the variation or the versions are different. Then we have designing and we have simulation. We already talked about modeling and simulating at the same time. But even when you finished your product, you have to validate your product. What does that mean, to validate the product? The product definition is the to be, and the validation is that the as is matches. It's the C. When you do validation, you're proving the product we wanted to make has been designed properly. You're not validating that it works. You're validating that the thing you wanted to make is what you have designed. Then, when it's done, you pass it. Engineering passes their product definition to manufacturing. Manufacturing has to imagine how to manufacture the product, how to set up the manufacturing processes, what resources will be needed, plastic, pen, felt, ink, things like this, how to design the manufacturing lines. All of these things happen and have to happen in this order to have a manufactured product. But we also talked about the data, and we talked about governance. In the middle, we can see program and project management, change management. In many industries, if you make a change during the engineering process, you have to record the change, approve the change, and keep track of the changes. You also have quality management. All of these things are running all of the time, both in virtual and real. And lastly, you also have the data analytics. You have every piece of data from every one of these processes. Good. Now we're going to do some batching. In the wiki, you have the definitions for the stages: imagine, create, produce. You have the governance stages, the explanation of your milestones, but then we get to those functional domains. Ideation. What I would like to do is tell me which brand makes apps for each of the functions. So as we go around the loop, what brand does ideation? What brand collects the data and manages ideation? So I'm putting a list of our Dassault Systems brands. We have CAD brands. We have Simulia. What other brands do we have?
Oh, yeah.
We have Enovia. Who's our manufacturing brand? Delmia. We have some other brands like Outscale or 3D Via, but I think for now the CAD tools, simulation, governance, and PLM, Delmia. We should also put NetVibes. What does NetVibes do? NetVibes is handling data, dashboards, analytics. Okay. So when it comes to capturing the ideas for products, which software do I use? Which apps? Which brand will I use to capture the ideas? Ideas, ideation. In which brand will I capture the ideas? Not yet. Which brand will I capture requirements? Which brand will I capture all of the rules for IP, export, regulation, sustainability, every rule? Again. Which brand will help me manage my portfolio? Enovia. Do you see a trend? Enovia everywhere. Let's keep going. Which brand will help me define my conceptual product model? Enovia makes the conceptual product model, the blueprint. Which brand will make the product definitions? As is, the empty product model. Which brand? Enovia. Which brand will do geometric designs? CAD. Depending. CATIA or SolidWorks. Biovia for formulations or pharmaceuticals. Geovia for things related to mining the earth and so on. Which brand will handle configurations? Enovia mainly, but yes, the CAD tool will do some things. Which brand will handle the engineering data, which our customers call the bomb? Enovia. Which brand will handle simulation? Somalia, maybe Delmia during manufacturing. But at this stage, it's product design simulation. Which brand is going to handle the validation that the as-is, that you're making the right product? 3D digital mock-up. Which brand handles the validation of the product before you release to manufacturing? Also Enovia. Which brand creates the configured product definitions? Our customers might call it the engineering moms. Enovia. Which brand handles manufacturing definition? Delmia. Sometimes a little, it's coming from other places. But Delmia has all of these release, product planning, manufacturing. Which brand does quality management? Which brand is making apps for quality management? Enovia. Which brand is making apps for program and project management? Which brand is making change management? Which brand is doing data analytics? Net5's and Enovia. Who's the winner? Why aren't you selling Enovia?
So great, man.
So when you only sell CAD, when you only sell simulation, when you only sell manufacturing, you're not improving the process of making products. You're not saving time, you're not saving money, you're not making products faster, better, higher quality. You're just helping them do a point in the process. There is no virtual twin experience without this. And by the way, this is the 3D Experience platform. So to give you another way to look at this is how Dassault Systems, everything starts with the 3D Experience platform. It is the heart, it's you can see in this picture where Enovia is doing all the work, orchestrating and keeping the tempo. Enovia is doing program and project management, quality management, and change management. Net5 is the main character for data analytics. The 3D Experience platform and Enovia are also creating all of these power connectors. So if somebody has a legacy tool and they want the data to come in, we make those connectors to bring them in. And then that data can be used in this process. Did you learn something new today? What did you learn? Something new. Enovia should be everywhere. Are you selling Enovia?
Yes, of course.
I have an Excel spreadsheet that tells me how much Enovia people sell. Are you selling the 3D Experience platform?
Yes.
What are you thinking, Matthew?
What do you think? You know?
So sell PDM, sell Enovia, is different.
Yeah, the difference.
Traditional is like the data management, data store, electrical, just put data in, put data in.
So that's really interesting. The difference between PDM or product data management and PLM is the life cycle of the product. If you're an engineering department and you just need to manage your engineering data, PDM is great. If you're a business that makes and sells products and you need to run your business successfully,
you need product lifecycle management. It is the evolution of your product. And it's every piece of information that helps you control and optimize your product development.
Great.
Another point I think very important is many customer business leader or IT leader just focus on the function. What function you can compare with Initial, compare with the Team Center, can you achieve this, can you achieve that? That's the function compare,
Yes.
not the business or the data.
Yes.
The product lifecycle development. This is the key. Many people, each kind of customer, compare the function. This is the difference.
So it's bigger than that. I agree with you. And
Yeah.
our competitors, Siemens, PTC, Eris, they also want to stick to functional comparisons. My app does this with this click. What does your app do? This is a bad game for Dassault Systems. We don't want to have a fight about functionality because when we do, the customer is indicating that they will buy the cheapest tool that solves their problem. We are not the cheapest tool ever.
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
We are the Mercedes-Benz of software. So when our customer wants to know, do you have a button to make the window roll down? I'm not discussing window buttons. I'm discussing business. I'm discussing profitability. I'm discussing managing your company for the right outcomes. I'm talking about industrial challenges. How are you inventing new product lines? How are you listening to the voice of the customer and bringing their voice into your product development? How are you getting to market faster than your competition? That is the conversation. And I can't have that conversation with engineering and IT. They don't
know.
If this is a bag of money, the president, the vice president, the operating officer, they have the biggest bag of money. IT has a much smaller bag of money, engineering has a smaller bag of money. I want the biggest bag of money. And it all starts, so instead of telling my customers to buy my products, instead of telling my customers what our products do, I ask my questions. I ask, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? Do you have any problems? Is it slow? Do you have data integrity problems? What slows you down? What costs you money? How can we fix or optimize the process, the PLM process? So everything is here for you, and Matthew has said that we can work on making a good translation if you need it to be translated to Mandarin. You can see the details, starting with the platform, what the various products do, and then the details of Enovia, continuously governing the development. Even the story about the orchestra is here. And then there's also a bit of information, more of the analytics information about NetVibes. Enovia and NetVibes are our sister brands. We work very, very closely together because we use the same information. So we've given you some more of the NetVibes information here as well. Questions? Thoughts? Are you surprised by the information that I've shared this morning?
Yes or no, or any comments?
Any surprises? Yes. Please. Of course. What is the surprise? You can say it in Chinese. Say it and they'll translate.
But I need work with our one partner for about 2 years. Oh,
And I think it's normal because the Dassault Systems portfolio is so big. To understand it, we specialize. But I knew when we did this workshop in all of the years, the story that we have to bring is just this. The cases will get nice. It's the story of product lifecycle management and how it works for business. So I'm asking you to join me in expanding from a specialization and understanding of a brand or just your industry to the whole process of doing business, the business of making products.
I can make some quick comments. We all here that halfway, even the final you could be people okay. There's one person halfway always. I think that it was a good live demonstration halfway. As a just like we really understand our art to let audience be all good. Great, very good. But we do have some back message ourselves. Some customer, some customer has been developing our solution. What do they do? Ask us a question. They tell me what you cannot do from your platform. If you should go on, no. Not only this, we can do A, B, C, we are better, we are good idea, but some long time coming. You have some, I do not give an exact answer, but some guidance seem good to Thomas.
Bill, I'm going to ask you to join. I think that there's two ways to answer. There's deficiency, things we cannot do, but the other way is things that are in the roadmap. One of the things that is amazing about Dassault Systems is we have a vision for our products. It was more than 10 years ago that the company said, we're going to completely redesign our software. We're going to make cloud native SaaS PLM. They started this journey 10 years ago. They invested over 10 billion euros in redesigning all of the software. So the cloud software, it's SaaS, software as a solution. It's native, it's developed on the cloud for the cloud. And there's huge benefits. Bill will give a session tomorrow about understanding the true benefits. As we embark on this, even though 10 years sounds like such a long time, when we take our on-premises software, we can't just convert it. It has to be completely rewritten. But it's not just completely rewriting that. Technology keeps moving. The world keeps moving. AI, Gen AI. When we are rewriting our on-premises tools, we're not just rewriting them as is. We're saying, okay, how can they be better? How can they work the way today's landscape needs them to work? How do we include AI? How do we include Gen AI? How do we build in automation?
it's a bit slower. So in a perfect world, we have the vision for automated engineering, things like issue management and change management being automatic in the platform. It is not today. It's on the roadmap. We have a vision for AI and Gen AI. It's not today, but it's coming. So I think that's the way I would answer the question. Bill, what do you think?
Things. One is be a little more concrete. We're not an ERP company.
Yes,
We're not an ALM company.
yes.
We don't compete with ALM. Regardless of application lifecycle.
Yep, I'm gonna put that on board.
Software management. We integrate those environments. We don't. It's not our ambition. ERP, of course, is not our ambition. Then I think the third thing is what KK said. You have to be honest and tell the customer when our solutions are maturing. There's no roadmap, but it may not be ready for you yet. You know, a cost management process. We're starting with cost management now. Is it fully mature? No, it's not. Okay. It may be acceptable for some customers, others not so much. Maybe sustainability might be the same discussion. So I think that honest discussion adds credibility. But credibility, understand, you could tell a customer, never mind. Tell them, it's not for you, it's not good, it's not ready for you.
Not now.
Not now. Not now. We can share with you where it's going, we can show you, but it's not ready. But for me, that would be the way I would answer.
And as a salesperson, there's no way to know everything, every roadmap for every app, for every brand. But you have technical executives and business consultants in the company who are here to help you when you have to have those discussions. Bill said you're not an enterprise resource planning company. This is a module, a software module, typically SAP, that will plug into your manufacturing environments. Application lifecycle management, you know today, products are basically computers. So the software that's running on the chip in the product needs application lifecycle management, and it's really not our specialty. So I think those are great points. That these are things we don't do, but we connect. We connect to the companies that make these tools. Question?
What we are seeing that we are not offering yet now, some of the time
Just to clarify that point, have the ability, it's important to catch the ALM system to bring
Yes.
the final product deliverable, the executable, the software image, because that's what really is. You're building a car, it's a smart car, it needs software, right? We can integrate that into our product definitions, so that we can manage that, we can apply change management to it. We just don't orchestrate all the tools that go into the building of the software, okay? Whatever they might be. All of our things, game programs, like whatever you're using with public software, there's so many open source tools out there. It's not worth it for us to be in that space. But integrating the outcome of the software development process into the product definition, we do that very well. So that's the way we discuss that.
Yeah, why discuss China or okay. Traditionally, we have already the built out. Seems much more. It's happening.
But that's normal.
You think in that way?
Well, no, but we talked about history, 200 years of history. Today, one of the most pressing things that a company has to think about is how to develop the software that's used in their products. It's the thing they're thinking about, so they ask us. Of course.
So the second thing, my week, not saying that it's good or bad week, but my week is not like that. I think that one big problem. It is about software website. It's actually okay. If we are talking software, that's all. I mean, as you don't get have all of it. There are a lot of solutions. So we are part of solutions. But the purpose we want to we want to try to avoid the failed path, basically hold their solution.
But Matthew, I think that when a salesperson is defending, you lose your power. So I try not to be defending, and instead I'm more attacking. If I'm talking to a car company and I say, why don't you make your own tires? Why don't you make the windshield wipers? Why don't you make the glass? They'd say, whoa, 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 we can't do everything. Say,
BYD.
exactly. It's the same. Every company should decide what their specialty is and what they're very good at and partner with other companies who are very good at their specialties. Terry, you like that answer? He's smiling.
Very job to challenge your customer.
Challenge.
Rethinking.
Exactly. Are you hungry?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's 12:30. Are we at time, I think? By the agenda, Ben? We're early?
A little.
Should we talk some more or should we have some lunch?
Yeah,
I think
you
so.
have a big restaurant.
Yeah, big breakfast. We're taking a 1 hour break, exactly 1 hour. So it's 12:30. At 1:30,
1:45.
you want to take a full break? Okay, sometime 1:45. Why don't we say 1:30, but we're really starting 1:45. Okay? You have time to call a customer, eat some food, do the things you want to do. Thank you so much. We'll see you 1:30. 1:45, we start the next topic. Thank you.